Because if you want to level your lawn, but you don't want to kill the grass underneath it, then this is what you have to do before you even start the process. So right here, this side lawn right next to my driveway, it's got a channel kind of running parallel to the neighbor's yard. We put a drain line in about a year ago, and the ground above the drain line has started settling down. So because I cut my grass short, I notice it very, very clearly while I mow the lawn. You can even look at it. You can see it with your plain naked eye just walking up and down the sidewalk. All of the dog walkers surely notice this. They're not thinking about other things. Look at this divot in the ground. Oh, I'm being overly dramatic. I notice it with my lawnmower significantly while I'm cutting because the grass is very low cut. And because I know it's there, it bothers me constantly. So I want to level it out. But I can't just throw sand, soil, compost, whatever on the ground. I have to actually prepare it. The grass, although this looks fairly healthy, is not very healthy. It hasn't been fertilized in probably 6 months. It's coming out of winter. We have a lot of morning dew in the morning, so there's a little bit of disease pressure in this lawn. I need to get it healthy first. Literally, the very first thing that I'm going to do to this is I'm going to add a little bit of slow-release nitrogen right along the area that is the worst, the part that needs the leveling the most. I'm going to be using soybean meal because that is not going to take effect immediately. I'm also going to put down some faster release OMRI listed nitrogen from a bag there that I got in the garage. It's a sodium nitrate based product. It's water soluble, so it should go to work very quickly. I'm going to put that sodium nitrate on everything, and that's going to help push the lawn through the disease pressure, and then I'm going to water everything in. I need to water this very well so that the grass truly starts growing up, pushing that disease pressure out, getting all of the drought stress out of the lawn as possible. Ordinarily, you wouldn't be doing this in the month of March unless you actually had soil temperatures that supported it. Here is a dog pee spot. Some dog walker let their dog pee here, which is fine, but I haven't cut the grass in a couple weeks, so you can see that it really just takes off. With fertilizer, this lawn is ready to go. "62 degrees. Yeah, grass should be able to grow there. You can see a tinge of orange, especially yellow, especially as you get over here. This is where it's more shady in the morning. Throughout the entire winter, this area got almost no sun whatsoever. So the disease pressure here is pretty significant. In fact, the grass is full on thinning out right here. Look at all that. That should easily be able to be pushed out without the use of fungicides. All I need to do is give it some fertilizer, get some deep water in, not morning dew, but deep irrigation into the ground, and everything should bounce back fairly quickly. These are the two products they're going to be putting down. Let's start with the lawn box. This is their Grass Genie product. It's a 1006. I'm getting some potassium in there. But really what matters is we're getting soybean meal and sodium nitrate. Nitrogen is 7.2% of the 10. Soybean meal is 2.4% of the 10. So 2/3 of this product is going to be water soluble. It's going to go straight into the lawn. The lawn is going to be able to uptake it and use it very, very quickly. The remaining little bit of soybean meal plus the soybean meal that I put down from Innova. This is straight soybean meal. I made a video about this not that long ago as an alternative to Malargonite. This is going to be a much slower acting product. Zero chance of burn using straight soybean meal. Sodium nitrate, you got to be careful. You can't over apply this, even though it falls under the organic OMRI listed OMRI category. I'm just doing math in my head here. 10 pounds of this at 7% nitrogen is roughly 0.7 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. I'm only going to be putting some of this soybean meal on 100 square feet, so I divide that by 10. So I'd be looking at 1 pound of product to give me the equivalent of 0.7 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. So I'm only going to be putting it on the low spot. I want to heavily fertilize that spot to get it to grow up after I apply all the leveling material on top of it. So it's not going to work immediately. I can put it down now, water it in, wait for the grass to really start responding to it, and then level. All right, again, just using my head, this bag is 10% nitrogen. Most of that is going to be the faster release sodium nitrate. So let's just say 10 pounds of product would give me 1 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. It's going to be too much because I just put that down. So let's say 5. Let's cut it in half. 5 pounds of product is going to give me half a pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. Most of that, roughly 2/3 of that, is fast release. So let's call it roughly 0.33 pounds of fast release nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. Then the remaining 0.16 or something like that is going to be slow release soybean meal, which is going to add to the soybean meal that I just put down. So I'm going to do 5 pounds per 1,000 square feet, 5 pounds of product per 1,000 square feet. I'm going to apply it over the entire area because I really want to push some of this disease out in places that I'm not even leveling. This entire area is 300 square feet, so that's about, well, that's 3/10 of 1,000. So if I'm going to put 5 pounds, then I need to multiply 5 pounds of product by 0.3. That would be 1.5 pounds of product is going to give me the rate that I want. All of that's just in my head. So there's always a chance that I'm making a small error, and I'm certainly doing a little bit of rounding. But with these largely organic products, so long as you're not over applying, sometimes that rounding doesn't matter as much as you think it does. Now I got this, excuse me. Now I got this fancy irrigreen sprinkler head over here, which I use to water the lawn, although I haven't watered this section of the lawn this season. I'm not going to use the irrigreen head because this is more of a deep water head. I want to gently water product into the lawn, so I'm just going to use the hose. Once the product's properly absorbed into the soil and adhere to the soil, then I can go and deep water a little bit later with the actual irrigreen. All right, with a light watering in, I'm going to go ahead and let this dry off for a little bit, and I'll probably do a very deep watering in the middle of the night using the irrigreen system here in the lawn. I don't get that on camera very often because I do it in the middle of the night. Deep waterings are better in the middle of the night, or not necessarily in the middle of the night, but at dawn, first thing in the morning as the sun's coming up. That way, everything starts drying off the leaf material, all that extra water in the heat of the sun during the day. Otherwise, you're just going to have more disease pressure. All right, now that the whole area has been fertilized, I've started the watering process. About 15 hours from now, I'm going to do the deep watering using my in-ground irrigreen system. That's going to push a full inch of water into the lawn all in one watering session with no waste. That's the whole point of the whole irrigreen, is to not waste water. See how I got water all over the place from my hose? Same thing happens with normal above ground sprinklers. There's almost always some waste. Irrigreen doesn't waste anything. Everything's just on the grass. Whole inch of water will go down all at once, roughly 7 days from now. I don't really know 100%, but I think it's going to be exactly 7 days from now, which will be next Monday. What is today? The 18th. So it'll be somewhere around March 25th or so. I should have some pretty awesome looking grass growing, totally long, within those next 7 days or so. Once things start looking a little bit healthier, I'm going to go ahead and spray some of these weeds out using a mixture of triclopyr and quinclorac to kill off a little bit of lingering California burr clover in the lawn. There will be a video about that coming out. But on day 7, that's when I'm going to go ahead and start putting the sand and soil mixture over the ground. Over here by the garage, I got bags of sand over there. The next step in preparing to level your lawn is to actually dry your sand out. Unless you have a source of purely dry, like super duper dry sand right out of the gate, right out of the bag, right out of the truck, whatever, however it is that you're getting it. You need to dry the sand out. So I'm going to lay a tarp out, put all the sand on the tarp as thin as possible, and let it dry in this beautiful California sun. While you're preparing to level your lawn, make sure to watch this video all about the mistakes that people have leveling lawns all of the time. These are the mistakes that people make. They don't want to make them, but they make them. And then down here in the corner, I've got my lazy lawn leveling video, which I did in the backyard last year, and it was just as successful.
Stay behind Izzy. Stay behind Izzy. That's really close. It's really close.